West Brom 1, Manchester United 1. Another terrible performance, a terrible display, an even worse result. It may put Manchester United second, but that is 5 games out of the past 7 where Manchester United have dropped points in the Premier League. Another poor result to a team in the bottom 6. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is running out of excuses because the improvements were there over the last year or so. What you demand after you see the improvements is a continuation. At the very least, you want to remain static to where you were for a period of time. And Man United in the past 5 to 6 weeks, when the pressure mounted up, when it really mattered, have capitulated. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be under massive pressure. He should be scrutinized today for the team selection. He should be scrutinized for his team's lack of oomph, lack of want, lack of trying in this game. It was absolutely abysmal. For the first 43 minutes, there was nothing. Turned it on. Really good bit of football before half-time to equalize. And then just struggled in the second half. And if we're being brutally honest, it was West Brom in the second half that had 3 golden opportunities. A great counter-attack when Maitland-Niles' pass was completely overhit. Should have been 2-1. Maguire bullied off the ball. Should have been 2-1 again. And then a great chance at the end. Lindelof today, absolutely pony. Him and Maguire are just becoming a joke week in, week out. Ollie keeps picking them as well, so you can't look beyond blaming him. At the end of the day, I understand Bailly can't stay fit, but Bailly and Twansby both fit today. Both could have come in and played in a game like this where you're up against a low-block team. Absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal today. And Ollie is going to end up taking the brunt of this. You can have a go at individual players and everything else when it comes down to it, but it's the lack of want from me. Where is the want to go? It's almost like we're happy. Oh, we know what? We're around second place. We're happy. That's how it feels watching this team. There is no mentality to keep improving. Oh, we're better than we were last year, so let's just stand still. It's exactly how it feels to me watching it. Certain players are going backwards. Maguire and Lindelof are persistently getting worse. Rashford, everyone knows how much I love Rashford, but I'll criticize him where it's due. Today, devoid of ideas. A few good crosses into the box. That was it. Martial, nothing. Nothing. Bruno today, barring his goal, nothing. So you make substitutions, Ollie. You make substitutions earlier. Get Greenwood, get Donny. Even bring Dan James onto the field a little bit sooner. Do something. Do something instead of just hoping and wishing and praying that it's going to change, because that didn't happen. Overall, another terrible, terrible performance from Manchester United that just cannot be defended by anybody. We're going to have the panel one later. Neeks will be here with us. Alfie's already waiting backstage as well, along with Indiana. Bits and Bobs will be here soon. We've got some new callers on. We're going to get Chucky on. We're going to get Lincoln on very soon. We've got Sal from the Stretford Post that's backstage waiting to come on as well. I want some of your views and opinions here, though, because I don't even know if I'm angry right now. I don't even know what's running through me right now. City have got this league title, and there's just 2 things primarily that are sticking out in my head. Have these Man United players accepted being second, third best in the league? And are they looking at that as an achievement? Because that is how it feels. Or are we just looking at a situation where Ollie has taken Man United as far as he can? We have reached that absolute upper limit. And we need somebody with slightly better coaching, slightly better tactics, but also the ability to galvanize us and give us that mental strength to push on. But you know, sometimes in life, 2 people can say the same thing to you, but maybe the gravitas or the way one of the individuals says it resonates more. That's how I feel about Man United right now. It's like there's something massive missing within us. There's something missing right now because we've got to the precipice again. We've got to the edge. And these are the internal gateways that we've spoken about. And we just seem to, every time we get to the edge of moving to the next level. So we improved over the last 12 months. Now, can we go to the next stage? We're failing. Or do you think this is a personnel issue? Ollie needs better players. Where do you stand on this? Where do you stand on this, people? I want to hear from you right about now. Smash that like button. Over 3,000 people watching across all platforms. We're going to jump into calls very, very quickly. We have some super chats to get up on the screen here that I want to go through. First one here from Zach, who says, I've had enough of this manager and he needs to go because of his favoritism. Donny van der Beek is better than Scott and Fred. Come on, Ollie out. Ollie out. We had a few more that I can't put up on the screen, but I'm going to read them out. First one from Phil says, Terry, why whenever Liverpool have a bad performance, Man United have one too, and vice versa? Congrats to Man City. Bottled jobs. Both teams are, I think you saw at Man United and Liverpool. Spa 987 here says, what were the tactics this game? Why are we playing McFred against these teams? Greenwood should have started. Ollie out. SS says, please bring the 21ers to the panel. Want to see their cute faces. The PE teacher will never win a trophy for you. He'll keep you deluded forever. Grey Wolf Dinner says, big up. Gallagher had a fantastic game. We had another super chat. Listen, on the Ollie not winning as a trophy, I'm believing that now. I feel the same as you do. I've said all along, I wasn't sure whether he could do it. I was willing to give him time through the improvements. And I'm not going to stand here and start slagging off Ollie. What were the tactics today? I saw what the tactics were. I saw how we were trying to move the ball. It's the belief. It's the belief in these players. They didn't look like they could do it. There's something missing within them. And for me, maybe it's now just going to take a manager, maybe come the end of the season, to come in, make subtle changes to how we play, but make them believe. For me, it's all in the head now for this Manchester United team. It truly, truly is. It's about belief. And I'll give you an example of that. Look at Liverpool right now. Everybody thinks they can beat them. It's the same Liverpool team that everybody was shit scared of 6 months ago. Belief. How dangerous somebody looks. How dangerous somebody looks. How easy you think they are to beat. How potent they are. Man United 6 weeks ago were on fire. Man United for the past 12 months have improved from a 33% to a 60% win ratio. We've got to a point, though, where now the pressure's cranked up and we now need you to go to that 70% mark. We now need you to become even more consistent. And it's like the backsides have gone. For the last 12 months, we were beating teams like this. The win ratio was huge. But now the pressure's there, the players crumble. That, for me, isn't a tactical issue. It's not about drills, about tactics, about systems. It's about belief. Of course, elements of overplaying players may come into it. Maybe Donny van der Beek should have come on sooner. Some of you may believe that. I certainly do. But it's a combination of two things. Mentality here is the key issue. I'm watching these games in the last 6 weeks, and I don't believe. And I'm sure the players feel exactly the same. I feel the players feel exactly the same as well. Comment here says, God help us when Pogba leaves. McFred in the midfield lacks so much creativity. Basically sat on the laps of our incomplete. What's that say? I can't read it. It's too small. Incomplacent. I don't know what that word means. Centre-back partnership. Terry, can we now put our hands up? Sorry, I can't read right now. Terry, can we now put hands on players' faces to score? Listen, the Maguire situation. Sorry, there was Lindelof being soft for the goal. Yeah, his hand was on his face. When you slow it down in super slow-mo, it looks like a foul. In real time, I got no issue with that. I thought that Maguire's disallowed goal against Burnley was wrong. I can't then hypocrisize myself and say that West Brom's today should have been disallowed. For me, we started slowly. We should have pushed out before the cross came in. Lindelof should be stronger. This is about Manchester United looking at themselves instead of trying to blame others. Simply not good enough from individuals in those very moments. No doubt about it whatsoever. Make sure you're all hitting the like button. The panel don't come on until we hit 1,000 likes, people. Let's get that done now. Jordan says, hi, Terry. You were spot on. When I watched us, I see Bruno as the only one who believes he can win the game. The rest look lost. Martial, again, not good enough. Martial today, not good enough. Rashford today, not good enough. Cavani today, practically invisible. Fred and McTominay didn't drive forward enough. Take it in turns. One of you needed to join in. Why are we having Maguire driving forward more than two of our players in the twin six? Not good enough. But I truly believe it's belief. I truly believe that, of course, there'll be tactical issues, substitution issues, individual performance issues. But I believe it's about belief. Why 6 weeks ago were we able to do it? Why for the past 12 months were we able to do it and improve? And I don't want to hear Maguire should have had a penalty. It weren't a penalty. Man touched his shoulder. He went for it. He looked for it. It wasn't a penalty in a month of Sundays. He was probably offside as well, to be fair. Not a penalty. And for me, I'm not looking for those weak excuses. We're not Arsenal fans here. We're not Arsenal fans here crying about one decision. It's about the team not being good enough to win. Simple as that. Ole out, a new manager in, won't be backed by the board, and then 18 months later, you'll want the manager out. Never-ending cycle. Oh, listen, bro. Do I have expectations the next manager is going to win us the league? Absolutely not. But I feel what's going to happen now for Manchester United is that Ole's never going to be able to get himself out of this cycle. I've said it before. Maybe, just maybe, what's needed is for a better manager to come in. And if that fails, when we get 18 months in, maybe then the Ole out brigade, which I am not part of, by the way. I'm not going to join in with their ridiculousness. But at the end of the day, a new manager will show up the same problems. And maybe, just maybe, we can put ourselves into a position then where the vast majority get behind a movement to try and stop the Glazers, who are ultimately accountable for where we are right now as a football club. It's as simple and as straightforward as that for me. Winnerpool here says worst title challenge ever. Not really, bruv. Not really. Nice deflection there, bro. I like that. We're going to start going to some of your calls now. Make sure you all hit that like button, people. I'm sure you want to see Man United fans getting bantered. Man United fans absolutely fuming. But the questions remain. Has Solskjaer taken Manchester United as far as he can? Has he hit the limits of his capabilities? That's question number one. Two, is this a tactical or mental issue with Manchester United? I want your thoughts. I want your feelings on this. Most sensible people are probably going to say it's a combination of the two. In my view, smash this like button. We're going to go to our first caller making his debut on the Football Terrace today. Man like Sal from the Stretford Post, East End boy like myself.
Yes.
How's it going, pal? Welcome to the Terrace. What are you saying?
What's going on, Terry? How you doing, mate? Finally, I'm here. What's going on, mate? You're right.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I mean, you're not only from, you actually literally grew up about
Leighton, Windsor Road,
I'm
mate.
from Windsor Road. I lived on the Oliver Close estate. Me and this guy literally lived about 50 meters away from each other in the East End.
Small world, mate. Small world. Northampton School, massive, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Windsor Road. One of my good friends, Ben Balai, lived down that road, actually. Good friend of mine. Man United today, though, bruv, drop more points against a small team, completely out of the title race now. Give me your thoughts, bro.
Mate, it's what I've been saying all along. You know, firstly, it starts off what I said at the beginning of the season, which was the lack of backing in the transfer market. I don't think you can blame Ole for McTominay and Fred not pushing forward and trying things. I think Ole gets his in-game management wrong sometimes, but I feel like those players, they're too slow. They're just pedestrian. They're passing the ball side to side like it's a preseason friendly. I want to see the players bombing on. I want to see the players just taking a risk. I remember under Alex Ferguson, I know it's unfair to compare Alex Ferguson times, but I remember under Alex Ferguson, we used to just relentless attack. And if we drew, we drew. But you knew that the opposing team were lucky. You knew it. We're here relying on penalties against West Brom, who just got thumped 5-0 against Manchester City, you know? And this is the problem I'm having. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I've had this favouritism thing. I've been saying it for a long time now. Lindelof and Maguire don't work. They're too slow. We sit far too deep when they play. Bailly needs to play. Otherwise, obviously, we needed a transfer in the transfer market. We needed one more centre back. I feel like we need a CDM. I don't think we're good enough in that position. And games are won and lost in defence and centre midfield. And I don't think we got that quite now.
No, listen, I completely understand where you're coming from, mate. There's so many things wrong with this team. What do you make of the confidence of the side, though? Because I understand that, you know, Nagelsmann comes in, Poch is here. I think tactically we'd be a better team. But do you think there's a lack of belief within these players? And if so, why?
I think it's years of failure. I just feel like when you're failing year after year after year, I think they've got too much failure in their heads. I don't know whether it's a mental block. I think Man City had it for a long time. It's like a mental block. Until you've won something, you start releasing that energy, that negative energy that you get when you keep losing semi-finals and coming close, second, third. You know, I just think that's a mental block. And when they start winning things, it might start, well, just like with Klopp. You know, he lost a lot of semi-finals, didn't he? He lost a couple of finals as well. And when he started winning, that was it. You know, it's like a habit, a winning habit. We got the losing habit at the moment. I feel like some of those players have got too much. I mean, the last 4 years, 4 years, they've been losing semis, losing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I feel like it is a mental block. Yeah.
Do you think Ollie's reached his limits though? Do you think Ollie's taken this team now as far as he can, or is there more to come from him as a manager?
Right, I'm not Ollie out, and you know, subject to popular belief online that people think I'm Ollie out. I'm not. I just feel like we're so close. We're missing something. There's something there. There's leadership that I feel like we're missing. I feel like we're missing, obviously, a couple of signings in there. A strong centre back, a quick centre back that can play with Maguire. I feel like we're missing creativity from the wingers, from right back, left back, and a strong CDM. I just feel like we lack leadership from top to bottom, mate. You know,
bro, I hear you completely. Sal, great getting you on the channel, mate. Definitely going to get you on again soon, mate. Thank you for calling into the Terrace, bro. Really appreciate it. All the best, mate. Thank you. Panel coming up in about 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. To stay with us, smash the like button. We had a super chat here from Paul. Paul here says, I can't lie, see a bit of sorry in his running out of ideas in the squad because he likes, well, we done this. Sorry, I don't know why I can't read today. I can't lie. I see a bit of sorry in him. He's running out of ideas in the squad because he's like, well, we've done this, try that. And if you sell Harry and Juan and get a decent set of defenders, nothing in the tank in both ends. And there's liabilities. At both ends, they're a liability. Them two alone at the back. Okay, I get you. Sorry, maybe it's my eyesight's going. I literally struggled to read that. I hear what you're saying there, Paul. From my point of view, there's so much wrong with this Manchester United team right now. It's unbelievable. A lot of it for me is devoid of confidence. When I look at the way Rashford and Martial are playing, we know they're better than this. And this is why when I say it's mentality, people can say all they want, right? This is why I'm asking whether Ollie's taken this as far as he can. Because maybe it isn't even tactical. And these are the questions that I'm posing to you for you to have your say on, right? And this is about thinking outside the box, not just ranting about tactics every 5 minutes. We have seen Rashford, we have seen Martial play 10 times better than this over a consistent basis under Ollie. Last year, Martial was sublime under Ollie, under Ollie's tactics, under Ollie's tutelage. Why, when the goings got tough this year, is it difficult? Why over the space of the last year when we've started to improve, has it suddenly all started to go wrong? I want to know why, and I want to understand it. That's what I'm asking for. Something just went really, really weird there with my computer. I'm not too sure what happened. It all just changed size really suddenly in front of me. Sorry. For me, I want to understand why. For me, it's a mentality thing. When I look at this, I see a lack of mentality to push through these barriers. If we were sitting today in 5th place, nowhere near 4th, we win. If we were sitting 3rd in the league, nowhere near the top, comfortable in the top 4 race, no real pressure, we'd have won this game. We can't handle the pressure. Aaron here with another super chat says, I'm going to try and go to this. There's so many comments coming through. I can't keep up with them. Tess, if you want to phone in, come on and have your say. Aaron says, hi, Terry. Watching that, I have so much built-up frustration towards the United team. Will the StreamYard link be shared? Yes, it is. I hope this board wake up and see what we are lacking defensively. Sick of seeing Lindelof on the team sheet. I agree. The way he got bullied for that goal was a madness. And not being funny, look at Maguire. I know he didn't concede because of heroics from David De Gea, but no real difference. Absolutely shoddy. Legendary Villain here says, a couple of months ago, I told you lot Ollie is not a good enough manager or coach. I got slated. Your excuses, we were top of the league. It was so obvious we were getting results, but playing badly. Ollie is not a good coach, but delusional. Listen, my view is this. When we were improving under Ollie, we weren't playing badly. We were playing well. There were a few games, yes, where we were conceding early at the beginning of the season, but that's not undo the whole of the past 12 months, okay? Over the last 12 months, Ollie improved this team. That is a fact that cannot be denied. We won more games, scored more goals. improved our win percentage by double. That can't be denounced. That isn't the argument here. What I'm seeing from a lot of Ollie outers is, I told you he was never good enough to make us champions. You're right. From the majority of people, that wasn't the argument. The argument was he has improved us. And that's where I found a lot of Ollie inners and Ollie outers arguing. The Ollie inners and have we not improved? The Ollie outers was like, yeah, but we're still not going to win anything. And I sometimes feel like the conversations and the debates were being conflicted in that way. My question now is simple. Has Ollie taken Man United as far as he can go? Is there more to come? Is it tactical? Is it mental? That's what I want to hear from you all. That's what I want to hear from you guys when it comes to this conversation right now. Ginger Fury says, I hope this board wakes up and sees what we lack defensively. Sick of seeing Lindelof in the team sheet. Man super chatted the same thing twice. That's how frustrated he is. More callers coming on now. We are going to go to man like, who are we going to go to here? We are going to go to Lincoln here. Lincoln, welcome back to the show, mate. What do you want to say?
It's nothing that we didn't expect from our team. I mean, like, fam, like, so what? Let me just set the scene. First of all, guys, happy Valentine's Day. Sorry that I had to treat you with a performance like this. So you sit down, Valentine's Day, you expect the players to be full of heart, full of passion. We concede. We always concede when we play away. But then to see the way that we played, Terry, it was like a second leg of a Champions League time when we're at 4-1 down. We come to the game full of fight, but then we concede in the first minute, and then the mentality goes down. No one wants to do anything. There's no passion. But even Bruno's not even trying to have any passion at all. Like Cavani looked like he celebrated Valentine's Day.
Answer my question for me. Answer the questions for me. Has Ollie taken his team as far as they can go?
In terms of that, yeah, I think he has. I mean, it was evident, but it's like the fans. We dug a hole. They dug a hole for Manchester United in the season. That I can't believe the 13 game unbeaten run was enough for fans. Let me just say Ollie out fans, because let's be honest, the people behind the 21 is coming moving are Ollie out fans. They dug a hole for the players, and now look where we are. It's like there's too many thoughts running around my head, Terry, and it's.
There we go. Listen, I hear what you're saying there, Lincoln. Thank you very much for coming on the show, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate that, Mod Lincoln. Next up on the show, we have man like Chucky. We're going to get Chucky on the air to have his say. Chucky's here with us. He's going to hopefully unmute in just a second. I think he's here. He might have just taken a break. I'll go back to Chucky in a second when I see him come back. Next up, we've got Aaron. Aaron, welcome back to the Terrace. What do you want to say?
It's quite convenient that today is Valentine's Day, because this was a St. Valentine's Day massacre for Manchester United. In terms of the Ollie out, can he taken as far as he goes campaign? Look, mate, Ollie's taken the Glazers team as far as he can. It's now at a point where you either back the manager or get out of Manchester United, because first of all, let's get the pointless excuses that deluded people used to cover their back line, because people use the excuse to cover the back line. First of all, Paulson, the referee, let's just say that quickly. He hasn't had a great game still, let's be perfectly honest, but we're not going to use that as an excuse. Should it have been a penalty? In my opinion, probably not, but let's not use that as an excuse. Let's not use things as an excuse. Lindelof was poor. Maguire was poor. We cannot win. Well, Man United, I'm not saying that because I'm a Donny fan, but Man United cannot win a title with that back line. And McTominay and Fred, what did I say? I said play McTominay and Van der Beek as box-to-box midfielders behind and in front of Bruno. What did Man United do? They did the same thing. They played McTominay and Fred deep to protect the back four because they are not good enough. And Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, you know what? Shaw was brilliant again today, but you know what? It's the same people that's going to get blamed by the media and by deluded fans. Shaw's going to get blamed. Bruno's going to get blamed. Cavani's going to get blamed. De Gea's probably going to get blamed because Maguire and Lindelof are going to be out of the firing line. And actually, finally, Terry, I want to congratulate West Brom because I'm wearing a red shirt today. And the reason I'm wearing red is because of, one, Donny Rovers, and two, not because of Man United, because West Brom sniffed blood and could have thrown the spear and spilt the blood today. There was a couple of good golden chances, like you mentioned earlier, Terry. West Brom had a good opportunity to take 3 points from Man United today. And if this is the way Man United's going to go, inside the top four, sitting comfortably, not challenging for the title. Either if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's going to go and you want to bring in a proper manager that's got just as good, if not better, tactics and mentality, then maybe if he still doesn't succeed in the next 18, 24 months, then you look at the Glazers again and you say, what have you actually done for this club? Because let's be perfectly honest, Terry, Sir Alex Ferguson, with his trophies, is the reason why the Glazers haven't been found out until Moyes stepped in at first. Moyes wasn't backed. Van Gaal wasn't backed. Mourinho wasn't as backed. Solskjaer's not been backed. There's a pattern here, and people like Bruno are going to fall under the radar. So hopefully Man U recover. But
final point, just so I can bring your point to a halt. So you're saying this isn't an Ollie situation. This is a Glazer issue, years of mistreating the club that's led to this.
This is like Arsenal under Wenger and all those managers. This American owner's not backing a manager, and this is unbelievable that this is still going on. But
so that's
thanks very much, Terry.
Listen, I'm trying to understand the point there. Thank you very much, Aaron, mate. Appreciate you coming on, bro. Smash that like button. The panel coming up in about 5 minutes, people. Next up on the show, we have Satan's favorite devil with us. What you saying, mate?
Yeah, it was ugly. West Brom basically sucked us into their game, and we fell for it. And that was as simple as that. Before answering questions, I just wanted to say something about Lindelof, because it's not even sad anymore. It's hilarious. You know what? In this first half, the way this guy gets singled out by the opposition's attack. You know when you go to a party and you see this girl being eyed on by a couple of different guys, and you always see this girl in the party. I have never seen a man get mounted up on and ridden like that on a consistent basis. There's the football equivalent of Lana Rhodes, and I'm not even joking at this point. It's really frustrating. But about your question, I sort of agree, and I also disagree at the same time, because I do think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has gotten this squad as far as they can possibly go. But at the same time, he hasn't gotten this club as far as they can possibly go. It's now up to it's up to the board, and it's up to Woodward to go and address the problems that we have. Terry, we've been knowing this. He wanted Sancho. He wanted Grealish. He wanted chance creators in the team. The reason why we've been able to break these low block defenses down in the past is because we had a Pogba and we had a Mata in the team that can add more to our game, a different element of our style of play. And it wasn't there today for whatever reason. And we need to bring new players in. The solutions don't exist in our squad. It doesn't. It's just, yeah, it's frustrating.
I hear where you're coming from, bro, and I hear the frustration in your voice. Thank you very much for calling the Terrace, bro. It means a great deal to us. Panel a couple of minutes away. We're gonna try and get Chucky on. I'm not too sure where he's gone. We've got iTest with us now. iTest on the Football Terrace. What you saying? You were Ollie in a few weeks ago. You apologized. What you saying now?
I was sold the dream. I was
By
told
who?
to trust the listen. I was told to trust the process. I was told there was a cultural rebuild going on. I was told 21 is coming. And now I see this. The worst thing is I believe the dreams they sold me. I believe the dreams the Ole Inner sold me. They told me to trust the process, cultural rebuild, all of these fancy, phrases. And 21 is coming. I believe
okay. Do you know what I'll say to you on this, bro? Is you never listened to a single Ole Inner once. You were listening to the Ollie outers who suddenly started talking about the people that you hear on social media right now that are vehement, that are volatile, that are venomous towards Ollie, with the same people, primarily the same people, barring Alfie, who's going to be on very soon, ladies and gentlemen, same people that were saying 21 is coming, right? That's what happens. But do you know what you suffer with, young man? You suffer with conformity bias. You will change your opinion to sit with the general consensus. So if the general consensus today is Ollie is taking us as far as we can go, you change your opinion to Ollie's taking us as far as we can go. If we then win our next 10 games on the bounce and the conformity, the general consensus is Ollie's the man, you change to Ollie's the man. What you don't have the ability, iTest, to think for yourself. You don't have your own opinions. You literally change depending upon the weight of pressure that social media puts on you. So right now it's like, oh, Ollie ain't good enough. oh, I've been sold the dream, I'm going to have a go at other people. No, you made that decision to say, I was wrong about Ollie, nobody else. I backed Ollie this year in terms of I was behind him to take us forward. I'm still not convinced whether he's taken us as far as he can or not. I'm asking the questions. My frustration is I just don't know. What I want you to do is just to give me your opinion, Ites, and stop reiterating what other YouTubers say, what I say, what Gary Neville says. Have your own brain, have your own thoughts, and give us your opinion.
Listen, deep down inside, I always knew Ollie wasn't good enough. I knew we don't have a way of creating an abundance of chances every single game. We know how Liverpool create chances through their fullbacks. Obviously, it's been exposed now, and now they're not creating as much because everyone knows their system has been found out, but they did. Man City, they pretty much play a front five with two of their central midfielders playing almost like strikers, as we saw yesterday against Tottenham. But us, I think we're not attacking enough. How we playing a double pivot against a low block? I believe we could have been a little bit more brave and played Donny van der Beek and Bruno in a 4-3-3 and almost like City.
Can I ask you a question though? Can I ask you a question though about form? Could this not be a situation for Ollie where it's bad form as opposed to systems? Because from November 19 to November 2021, Ollie lost less games than Pep in the league. You know, Pep's system, the way Pep plays, for a year it failed him. So how do you take that into account?
Hello, I cut out. What was he saying?
Cut out. How do you take into account Pep's system not working for over 12 months? How do you take that into account? I mean, I get that Diaz has improved their team from a defensive point of view, but in terms of breaking teams down, not losing games, so could Ollie just not be going through a bad period of form, or you think this is it? This is his ceiling. This is his limit. It's what I'm trying to ascertain and understand.
I don't think it's that. I think ever since he's been here, I've never seen a consistent system where I know that's how we create chances. I feel like in the final third, it's down to individual brilliance. I don't know how we create chances. I know how they create chances. I know how they're going to get their chances.
The goal today wasn't individual brilliance, was it? The goal today was 3 minutes of sustained pressure, moving the ball from left to right, prodding, probing, waiting for an opening, a very good cross in the end of, yes, a wonderful finish. But that was a team goal today to get us back in the game, was it not?
Yes, but can you tell me how we create chances? How do we create an abundance of chances like Liverpool do? We know how they created, like City do. We knew how they created. Bayern Munich, we know their way. But what's our way? Like, do you know what our system is in terms of creating a lot of chances?
In what way? I mean, how
the same type of goals?
Okay, but how do you want me to describe? Of course, we scored the same goal more than once. That's why Luke Shaw's got the amount of assists he's got this season. I just think you're looking.
We do. I think
we do. Man United do. This is not for me. The more I speak to people like you, the more I'm convinced this is a mentality issue at Man United and not a tactical one. It's a belief issue and not.
Let me make it easier for you. Let me try to explain it for you. I can explain for you how
I understand what you're talking about.
With their fullback, with their wingers.
Tess, where are you? I just don't understand what you listen. You say how do Man United score goals? So if I listen, so I test. So if I can describe it to you and explain it to you, then you'll believe it. If I can give it a name, does it have to have a pet name for it to be real?
Nah, explain it to me. How do we do it? Yeah, consistently, and then I'll need to see it if that is the case.
Listen, when I start talking, please stop. When you want me to describe it to you, what I need so that you don't try and throw any curveballs is send it to me in a tweet, a DM me, and then we'll screenshot the DM and shout at people. I want you to ask what you want to know, and I'll explain it all to you in detail. Because what I know is if I come to you with an answer, you'll throw in 3 curveballs and move the goalpost. So you come to me and tell me what you want to know about how we try and create. I'll be able to explain it to you, and then will you believe it exists?
You could explain it, then I'll go away and I'll try to see if that's the case.
No.
And I'll see if
that's my point. You're going to try and move the goalpost. So you don't want an explanation. You just want to say it doesn't exist. Test, thank you for calling the show. He's back to Ollie out. We thought so. Take care, bro. Panel coming on now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this right about now. Smash that like and share button. Someone here says Terry getting rattled because he was wrong and Test was right. It's not about being rattled. It's about, I want to understand what people are saying. Terry, I don't understand how we score goals. I believe people are being intellectually dishonest when they say that. When they say, I can't see how we create, I think you're lying. And the point is, I think it could be explained to you. I think you could be showed video evidence and you will still say, nah, it doesn't exist. The point is, the way it's going to work is you tell me what you want to see. And then I'll go away and find you the examples. But I know what will happen. You'll move the goalposts again. So it's almost like an endless cycle that nobody wants to end. As simple as that. Let's get the panel on. Welcome, gents. Welcome, gents. Welcome, gents. Another disappointing performance for Manchester United. It was. I'm going to go to Neeks first on this, mate. More points drops, more disappointment. Give me your thoughts.
First things first, it was a foul on Victor Lindelof. I'll leave it there. However, I'm not going to mention that again because he has to do better. He has to do better in that situation. Letter of the law is a foul, cool. But this isn't the first time. If this was the first time this ever happened to Victor Lindelof, I would put the blame on the referee. But this happens time and time and time again. He's so weak in the challenge. He's so weak physically. He's always he is the liability in defense in our centre-back pairing. The pairing don't work, but he is the problem when we're being serious. And on that, I also put that on Solskjaer because I understand that Bailly's not 100% or he can't stay fit all the time, but he was on the bench today. He had to play today because one, of the physicality, and two, we're supposed to be playing the whole game in their half. So we're going to need him and his recovery pace, which, let's be honest, we were lucky to get a draw because we didn't have the recovery pace that when they did break, they created 2 or 3 chances that they could have got a second goal at any point in that second half. So that was a bad decision from Solskjaer already. And I think it's time, like we talk about Martial being dropped, like we talk about Fred and McTominay not working in the middle, we need to talk about Victor Lindelof and why Solskjaer. I understand the injury issue, but it can't persist when others are fit with Victor and Maguire. In the midfield, McTominay and Fred. McTominay and Fred against West Brom. It should never have been the choice because we need creativity. They're going to be sitting back. Why would you play 2 players who don't really create? McTominay, as good as he's been for us, is not a creator. He's been his performance has been good because he's been breaking late into the box and getting goals. And then Mason Greenwood. We speak about how he's had a bad season so far, but in the last 2-3 weeks, he's played well. He's playing himself back into form. What does Solskjaer do? He drops Greenwood and brings back Martial, who at no point this season has shown any form. So I'm going to criticize the players for performances, but I have to criticize the manager for playing players who have been failing and haven't proved that they can win these types of games time and time again.
I hear you on that completely, mate. Bits and bobs, lots of frustration, not a good enough performance today at all. Give me your thoughts and feelings, mate.
Boy. Neeks, I disagree. Oh, what's this guy here for? Neeks, I disagree with you. I don't think it's a foul. My centre back needs to be stronger. We need to do some test and buys or something. But the reason I'm not annoyed, because it happens all the time, he's the weak link when it comes to the physicality. He always gets bullied, chucked about like an empty tracksuit. He's a rag doll. 90 seconds in, we concede the goal. What does that say? McFred, listen, we were spitting lurks about McTominay. McTominay's not a creator. He does box to box. He's an engine. He runs. He can play an okay pass. Both of them against West Brom was basically conceding possession. We were basically saying, you come on to us, we'll allow you to have possession, and then we'll counter. How does that go through a manager's mind? We are at West Brom. We're at Man United. Play your creative players. They weren't interested in going forward. They were happy to sit in. We saw that. We couldn't even break them down, Terry. And do you know what? None of them were good enough today. And we do not, on that game there, we do not deserve to win the league or do anything. We didn't deserve to do anything today. Like Bruno, a shinner, my goodness, what a goal. I saw Zidane do that in Hampton at the Champions League final. What an absolute finish, right? But that's it. That's it. Like, what if Bruno wasn't on the park today? We get beat from West Brom, flipping Ajayi and them, man. Get no Gallagher doing up midfield. What's going on?
Yeah.
Man, today
I
was
wanna,
just...
Yeah, I want to ask this question. I want to go to Alfie on this. You were a fervent believer in 21. Is this a tactical issue, or is this a mentality issue with Man United, or a combination of the two?
No, I can't say it's a tactical issue, and I can't say it's a mentality issue. You know, Ollie deserves his criticisms, Neeks. I agree with you. When we win, we need to give some props to Ollie, and when we draw and if we lose, also the manager is responsible. Yeah. Based on today's performance, we were lucky to even get a point. That's the sole truth of the matter. It could have been 3-1. It could have been 3-1 by the end. To them, it could have been 3-1. Yeah. Tactically, look, I need to speak first and foremost on some of the comments that have already been made, because they're just not sitting well with me. Please don't blame the Glazers. The Glazers have done more for your club, yeah, than you will ever know. Yeah, they've done more for your club than you will ever know. I don't want to hear it. I'm not going to sit here and say Ollie hasn't or has been fully backed, because we know he hasn't been fully backed. But there are a lot of factors to consider. Which owners do you know are going to make a 90 million plus bid for Sancho on the final day? Your Glazers did that. The Glazers did that. So don't come here with this. Ollie isn't being backed by the Glazers. He is being backed, but they have to also look at it from a financial perspective as well. And so I've got no fingers to point at that. I will also say that Ollie has achieved what he has achieved so far, based on the fact that he didn't get all of his players. He needed 2 more players this window that has gone. The summer window. He needed a replacement for Lindelof. Oh God, Lindelof. He needed a replacement for Lindelof. Yeah, right. And he needed the right winger. We don't have a right winger. So when you say, is it tactical, Terry? You have to ask yourself. Ollie had a plan for how he wanted to execute his tactics. We've seen how many players play there? 4, 5 in the right wing, including Pogba. We've seen Donny play there. Greenwood, Rashford's played there. We've seen Bruno be put there. One time I even saw Cavani float out on the right. None of these people are right wingers. None of them. We don't have a right winger. So tactically, what he has achieved so far, he has shown. And here's the question: really, people want to say, has Ollie achieved, or has Ollie reached his limit? Here's the question that you need to ask yourself: Ollie has achieved this without being able to play the system that he fully wanted to play this season, and he's achieved where we are right now. Which, as far as I'm concerned, on goal difference, we are joint second. No more joint top. We're joint second, yeah, on goal difference. All right, yeah. So we're now second in the league. So context for the season and context for Ollie. How long does it take to build a sustainable side? Not a one season wonder side. How long does it take to build a sustainable, year after year, trophy after trophy, challenging side? How long does that take? Because as far as I know, as far as my maths is concerned, he's in his second full season. This is his second full season, and we are, mate. I'm not even going to speak about Manchester City because they look incredible. Like everything they do, that defense to that mid, and Gundogan is the player of the year so far. Are you having a laugh, mate? He's turned Gundogan. Pep has turned Gundogan into this. So I'm not even going to compare us to Manchester City. You can't. You can compare us to everyone else. And as far as I'm concerned, we are where we are, and Ollie has brought us there. So none of this Ollie out business. People who want to talk about Ollie out, please come and address other people. Don't talk to me, because I'm just going to slew you for no reason. So just
I can see a lot of things that Alfie said are frustrating you, especially about the Glazers. What you saying, bro?
Okay, so he brought it back in a few things I agree, but let's start with the Glazers and the fact that you said Ollie's been properly back. That's wild. That's crazy to me, because realistically, I pulled it up. I had it here sitting here. Ollie has spent 200 million since he's been here, and that's not including the outs and the money that we've gotten in. Pep Guardiola is a genius. Let me get that straight to everybody. This is why we need to stop comparing ourselves with City. Because first off, Pep's the best manager of the modern era, and he spent $620 million. He bought Claudio Bravo. Guess what? Claudio Bravo sucked. What they do? They brought in Ederson. Kyle Walker starting not to play well. What does he do? Buy João Cancelo a year early. Fernandinho coming to the end. Buy Rodri a year early. That's how you back your manager. Don't tell me we've been backed by the Glazers. If you were backing all, you would have bought these players when they should have been bought. Maguire should have been bought a year earlier. Like, are you kidding me right now? Saying the Glazers, they put a $90 million bid in at the end. That is nonsense. That is absolute nonsense. I'm looking at this list again. Benjamin Mendy was the best left back for a year. Didn't work out. What's he go do? Buy a bunch of other players. He needed 2 center backs this year. He bought Nathan Ake. Sucks. Cool. But you got Diaz for good measure because Laporte's always hurt. That's how you back your manager. Don't tell me he's been backed. None of our managers have been backed. Not properly. If you want to win the league, if you want to win this title with the premise that's how you back your manager. You don't back your manager by putting
I agree with you, Cam. I genuinely agree. I'm not saying to you that I didn't say Ole has been backed. I said don't blame the Glazers because listen, the Glazers are not the Abu Dhabi group, bro. The Abu Dhabi group, can take out 1 billion from taking a shit. There's no problem. You can't look.
I'm talking about one bid that he put in at the end, that we put in at the end of the last transfer window. Solskjaer's been here, as you said, for two summer transfer windows, and the first one, Bruno comes in 6 months later. That's an evidence of them not backing him. Then we go into this summer. Forget the fact that we didn't buy Sancho, because when people talk about whether he's been backed, we're talking about money spent, etc. I don't even go that far. The fact that Ed Woodward is still in the position that he's in tells me that the Glazers are clearly part of the problem, because Ed Woodward should not be in the position that he's in for this long. That you can't.
You've hit it on the head there, because at the end, what I said is they don't. Not for sole blame. So you said they're part of the problem. I agree, they are part of the problem. Why didn't you get Bruno in 6 months earlier? Yes, why did you make a 90 million bid, you clowns, right at the final day when these men have been saying for the last 50 days, we're not going to sell him. Man United are clowns. Don't be talking to other people and talking to us. I didn't say that they're not part of the problem. I said don't give sole blame onto them. Look, like today. I'm not. I'm just sitting here and saying.
Let me just say on this now. So for me, when I look at all of this, the reason I asked the question, I'm frustrated with Ole today, and I'm frustrated with Man United today. And of course, this is where I think football fans, and I throw out questions sometimes as a little bit of a. I'm gonna take the pin out. 1-0 Arsenal, by the way, Aubameyang. I like to throw the pin out and just see what people come back with. There's definitely mistakes from Ole. There's definitely limitations to him as things stand right now. There's definitely issues with the individual players in terms of form. But I stand by what I said before. Any Man United fan who thinks sack Ole and bring in, and I'm just going to name a few managers, Allegri, Nagelsmann, whoever. I don't think over a period of 18 months to 2 years, you are going to still see Man United be champions. And of course, when we have great weeks, great months, great runs of form, I'm going to celebrate it because I love my football club and I back these players. I'm asking the question about Ole because I've seen in the last 12 months clear improvement. We've seen much better performances. We have seen growth. Anybody, and this is where I've always been frustrated with the Ole outers, they sit there and right now they are loud and they are loud and they are rambunctious and they are noisy because in this very moment, they're right. In this context, at this moment, we told you Ole wasn't good enough. 6-7 weeks ago, they were all very quiet after games, sitting there, kind of waiting for their moment. And you've had the same thing with the Arsenal fan base. Right now, the Arteta inners are singing loud because they're beating Leeds. If it ends 2-1 to Leeds tonight, you know it's going to revert round. It's how these things play out on social media. But for me, I do think there are limitations to Ole. I do think he made mistakes today. I'm now worrying that he's got us to a point where we can be solid in the top four because we kind of are to a degree. But how much further can we go from this point? That's the big question today. Equally, bringing in a new manager Does anybody truly, in their heart of hearts, believe really that it's going to make us champions again? In my view, I can't.
Maybe not champions, but you'll win a
Look, but
trophy.
do you know what? Yeah, Terry, like, I actually did think that. I thought this guy is literally thinking he's making us play so well. And obviously, at the time, his in-game management wasn't the best thing he was getting. But I actually thought we could actually do this with everyone else dropping points. Cookie Crumble, FC not defending their title. At the time, Man City weren't really playing well. I was thinking, if we go on a run similar to Man City that they're doing now, I actually genuinely thought we could actually do this. But then I'm always reminded of who's our manager and what can you do? Literally.
So what are you saying? What are you saying? Bits.
What
are you saying?
Correct in the sense that I think he has taken this. Oh no, it wasn't Alfie. Sorry, I think it was the caller just before we came on. He's taken, I think, this team that we have as far as it can go, i.e., is never going to win the title at all. This current team. Has he gone as far as he can with Manchester United? I would say no, in the sense that if we get a proper summer this summer and get the players and plug the holes that we've been talking about, I believe we can put in a sustained title challenge to, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 maximum games from the end of the season. Could a better manager take this team further into the title race? Probably. But I don't think any manager is winning this unless maybe Klopp or Pep Guardiola. I don't think any manager is winning the league with this current team. So yes, he's taken this current team as far as it can go, but we need better players. We do.
And honestly, sorry, there's one thing when you ask that question about with this team, you have to think about, like, this is something I want to say to the Ollie-outers who have been saying, well, Ollie's playing Martial on the left to accommodate Martial and putting our best player at that position on the right. People have to look back at the fact that we don't have a right winger. That's why he's doing it. The game plan was clear today. It was get crosses into the box and hope for something to happen that way, because West Brom plays compact. You can't go through the middle on them. So you have to open them up all wide on the flanks, banging crosses. Who's our best crosser from the right? Marcus Rashford. Like, you don't have a player to put there. So when people are saying Ollie is bottling it and is a bad coach because he's not playing Rashford in the right position, what else is he supposed to do? This is my question. Play Dan James?
Yeah. I'm going
to go to David in a minute. Listen, my view is this, and I love listening to other people's views and opinions. It's why we do the show. We had call-ins. We're going to go to some more calls in a moment because we've got about 10, 15 minutes left on this show. It's why I'm asking the question about mentality. And I can see David's got a rival smile on his face right now. I'm not going to lie. It's getting under my skin to mad because I love my football club and I'm annoyed. Everything people say, listen, when I hear people say, oh, if we just had better drills, we wouldn't have a problem. I disagree, because when Arsenal lost their potency, when Arsenal lost top players, Wenger still had them well drilled. Last season, when Manchester City lost their mentality, the best system manager in the world lost more games than Ollie, the PE teacher. When you lose your belief, when you lose hold of the mental aspect of the game, you can't win. Man United were going on, and sometimes I feel like, this sounds too conspiracy theory, as soon as everybody started talking about 21 is coming, title races, capitulation. Mentality-wise, this group of coaches, manager, and players as a collective weren't ready for it. They weren't ready for it. And it's why I was saying the United fans slowed down a little bit. I know I had my little, and we can win the league after the Bruno winner against Liverpool, but everyone could see that was just in jest. This is what's happened. They're not ready for it just yet. It was too soon for them. For me, the tactical talk, if we drill us better, we'll perform better. No, we just won't. That's why some fighters get to world title level and they flop. It's why some teams, just when they get there right to the edge, they can't get over the line for me, because the same system, the same tactics has been working very well for the past 12 months. Why in the last 4, 5, 6 weeks has it come crashing down? What's been going on in that same period? Expectation. When we won our opening couple of games in the Champions League group, did anyone expect that? No. Then to get out of the group, the arseholes went.
Terry,
mate. It's mental.
Terry, can I add a comment to what you just said? You, all of you, and all of the viewers, all of the Man United fans. This is how spoiled Ollie has made you. This is how that we haven't even lost. We haven't lost. Yeah, since Sheffield, we haven't lost. We've had 2 draws in the league. You man are so spoiled that you are treating this as a loss. I understand. I feel like it's a loss too. This is what Ollie has given us. He's made us feel like we're out of the race. Yeah, quite rightly. We're out of the title race. Okay, no problem. But you're treating this draw as if it's a loss, which in my opinion, on year growth, season on season growth, where are we? We are miles better than we were last season.
Yeah, but Alfie.
Go on, David.
I was gonna say, Alfie. I'm saying you're in second now, but are you gonna stay there? This is what I wanted to come on and say. I do still think you will finish top 4. I'm not saying you're gonna drop out, but I do think the way that Chelsea are currently performing, we might. No, I know, Cameron. I know. No. You can all laugh at me in it, but if we win tomorrow, it's suddenly 4 points. If you drop points next week and we win, suddenly that drops to then 2 points or 3 points. And when we play you, suddenly that game becomes a position where we can switch positions. So I do think. I do think we will finish above you this season. I think we will. Right?
How much? Put your money
How much?
Okay.
How much?
Okay. All right.
Hey, I'm already wrapped up in 2 bets. I can't lose any more money if I lose.
Tickle magic, bro. Believe in the magic.
You ain't got the money.
I'm already wrapped up in 2 bets. Did you say?
Relax. I'm already wrapped up in 2 bets with Liverpool fans. I'm already wrapped up.
Listen, do you know what?
I haven't even finished my point. My point is that you guys were last month. Alfie was on the biggest smoke all time. Changed his name to McGoldrick, and you guys were going to win the league. Now it's been a month later, and now you've gone to but we're comfortable in the top 4. The way things are trending right now. You are trending towards not being comfortable in the top 4. And if that happens with your mentality, are you confident that you can stay in that top 4? Because if Liverpool kick up or if like an Everton or a Spurs,
I said Liverpool. Listen, Liverpool are not in this question.
We all answered yes.
Let me confirm that, David. Sorry, Nick. From my point of view, it's this. We'll come good again very soon. This Man United team in the next week, it will click again. Because it does under Ollie. It goes through these moments. It might be for the next 4 or 5 games. There'll come a point where we suddenly win 5, 6 of our next 7 or 8 games. And there'll be a point where we secure top 4. I'm not worried about top 4 right now. And that's the point I'm making. A lot of people in the comments saying I'm backtracking. I'm not too sure what I'm backtracking on. And my job as a host is to ask questions as well as deliver opinions. So sometimes I might say things like, is that it for Ollie now? Should he be sacked? And then my opinion might be not yet. You've got to understand the difference between a question mark and an exclamation mark. Like there's 2 different things, people, punctuation. My view is very much this. Has Ollie got us to a point where finishing in the top 4 is as far as we can go? As soon as that pressure mounts up on could we be title contenders, is it going to fall apart? And we've had the answers from the viewers. Some say yes, and the panelists. Some have said yes. Others have said no. They've said actually it's about giving 2 or 3 more players, then we get our total up. This team might be as far as it can go, but we need a better squad. You were going to say, St. Nicks?
I was going to say, in terms of trajectories and trends, I mean, you're saying the last 5 games would be going that way. Liverpool are also going that way. Spurs are also going that way. So if we're talking about where we are trending to finish, Chelsea's the only team who's going there. I don't really count West Ham and Everton as serious contenders for top 4. Everton got 2 games in hand. They're not going to win both. I'm so confident of that. So
one of them's against City.
Well, then exactly. So hopefully they do. But the point is, everyone. It's not like we're going here and everyone's going like this. The season is up and down. And even when we were, and I said, I think it was just before the Sheffield United game, I said we are in the title race because we're second in the league. We are Manchester United. When we're in that position, you don't hide away and cower away. We are not Spurs. We're not Leicester, etc. But the what I said at the time is we are still in a race for top 4. It's not done. Nothing is decided in January, as we've seen, and that goes for top 4. That goes for relegation. Sheffield United have come out of nowhere, and they look like they have a fighting chance to actually stay up. So we've always been in a race for top 4, even if we were looking higher up. Right now, I'm not even thinking about falling outside the top 4. Hopefully, the form picks up, so I don't have to consider that at any point this season. But we are still in a race. We're still in a position where we have to get the wins to secure a top 4.
2 cups.
Yeah, David, look, you asked I mean, you posed it to us. You asked us a question, and let me tell you why I really do not absolutely give a flying monkeys about the way I have conducted myself to the public on my opinion about Man United. Do you know why? Because last season we were absolute trash. I need you to understand this. We were trash. The fact that we're even in a conversation about title challenging up until the 24th game, you need to understand, David, is ridiculous. The fact that we are here. So it doesn't matter if we lose the remaining games, and the fact that we were even contenders or in the conversation about title. This for me is a result. It's a result. It genuinely is. When I said year-on-year growth, when I said in context of the season is one thing, in context of where Ollie is, that's 2.5 years, or just over 2.5 years, and in context of building a sustainable side, not a one-season Sarri or Antonio Conte side, David, sustainable to challenge year after year for one thing or another, right? This is what I want. So I'm still Ollie in. I believe in it. If he gets his players, absolutely.
Alfie.
And we will get second. Absolutely.
When you talk about year-on-year progression, though, you're talking about us as of the 25th game. However, the season's 38 games. So if you were to finish the season in 5th and you get knocked out of the 2 cups, even though by the 25th it looked like you had progressed, by that 38th game, you've gone backwards.
Yeah, of course. But then you judge.
Hypothetical. That's hypothetical. But what if? That's hypothetical, isn't it?
My point is.
But what if? But then what if we finish second? But what if we finish second? As far as I'm concerned,
then it'd be progression.
There we go. And right now, where are we? We are second. And the fact
we were never in second last year.
I get
last year as well. Exactly, Cam.
I think what Alfie's saying makes a lot of sense in the point of view of. I think where my frustration is stemming from, and it's always like you get an hour after the final whistle. You start to calm down a little bit. The red mist starts to clear, and you're like, do you know what? We're 12 points better. And this is maybe where my anger with the Ollie out brigade stems from. Is we're 12 points better off than we were last season. And when people say things like unsustainable football, there's been no improvement. We are a better team. And we know that because we have more points, because we're scoring more goals. The one thing that we need to work on is this conceding first, and nobody's kind of denied that. And it's something to do with our centre-back pairing have been absolutely awful as a collective this year, and they're getting worse at all times. They really, really are. But we have progressed, and for me, I think we'll finish in the top 4. I think we'll finish in it more comfortably than we did last year. The question then comes back to what I've already said on the show, and this is what the vast majority of Man United platforms, and obviously we cover the whole top 6 plus 1. Nobody's asking. Is Ollie then taking this? Is it the team or the club he's taken as far as he can go? Most are not even talking about the progression that we've made. It's more they're judging it in this framing of we were in a title race and we fell out. That shows Ollie's not good enough. But we shouldn't have even been in the title race in the first place. So are we going to ignore that progression? And if so, why are you ignoring it? That's the question for Man United fans.
Because their favourite manager's not in charge. That's why they're
true. And the thing is, rivals are meant to do it. Rivals are meant to be the ones throwing this in. What I find really staggering is Man United fans who, honestly, I think were happy that we didn't win today. I almost, when you can read someone's tweet, we all know this, right? When you read a Katie Hopkins tweet, you can feel the undertone in it, right? You know what? Some Man United fans, I read their tweets and it's like, you look really happy that we haven't won. Or even so, when Bruno equalized, they seemed angrier.
It's like me when Mason
Mount Bruno scored, everybody said unsustainable. Bruno again. That's what I saw. Know how many people today, I got an argument, severe argument with United fans over this was ridiculous. If we took Bruno out of this team, and you've heard fans say this, we would be terrible. If you took, I'm like, okay,
Why
I'm sorry.
Think like that?
You take the best player out of any team. You take other than City, because City has 5 amazing players. You take the best players out of teams. What happens? They drop in form. Look at Spurs. Look at Chelsea. Any team that loses their best players. So I'm tired of this argument. If you took Bruno out, we'd suck. Cool. Ollie went and got Bruno for a reason. Like, he knew he needed him. It's like, it's such a wild argument, and the Ollie outers love it. They love it. When he scores, they're like, well, without Bruno, we'd be screwed. I'm like, it's just so tiring at this point. They clearly, I know what, and I don't mean this, I want to see Ollie out of the job only because I just want to see people keep the same energy for the next manager. I want to see if it happens or who's going to be the scapegoat. because
Don't hope such things, Cam. No,
I don't mean it really.
We don't need it. We're on a good trajectory.
I hear what Cam's saying though. There is that part of me.
I know.
I don't want it to go wrong because I don't want my club to be to fall out of the top 4, to not win any trophies. But like I always say to people, these arguments about systems and drills and tactics, it's all well and good, but it doesn't. So someone said to me the other day about I was talking about Man United, and they were saying how if we were more drilled, then our players would all perform better. And I'm thinking, give me some examples of where that's true. And they throw out things like, well, the way Bayern Munich, the way Man City, the way Barcelona play proves to you that well-drilled teams get the best out of players. And I'm thinking, you're acting like some of their signings don't flop. You're acting like Pep Guardiola hasn't overhauled that defense multiple times. You're acting like Jurgen Klopp, as great as he is, has overhauled 95% of the squad that he inherited. If it was just about a team being well-drilled, then you wouldn't need to ever buy new players within reason. You wouldn't ever have a flop signing. But everybody does. And this is, and no one's claiming Ole is as good as these other managers. So their argument's well, we need someone as good as these other guys. But you're forgetting the history. Under this ownership of this football club, we had 2 better managers than Ole prior, arguably 3 better managers. Like if you'd have said to people, Ole versus David Moyes' CVs, at the point in time we employed Moyes, you would have probably picked David Moyes as your manager.
Terry, if you speak to most Ole outers now, they'll probably say David Moyes is better right now because he's got West Ham where he is. So either way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point. We've had better managers with better systems, but each time there's been something wrong. And I see so many parallels with wanting Ole out as I did with people saying they wanted Jose Mourinho out. And it's that if we get a better manager managing this group of players, we would perform better. They all said identical things when Jose was sacked, when LVG was sacked, when Moyes was sacked, and it hasn't worked. I'm not stating that you should just, that's it then. You should stick with Ole forever and the day. My point is not that. My point is simple. Don't delude your little brains into thinking that the world is going to snap change overnight by just changing the manager because he runs better training drills, because when he speaks in a press conference, you find him more invigorating. He gives you a bit more of an hard-on than what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does. Maybe he claps more. Maybe he hugs more. Maybe he says maybe he tells jokes better. None of these things are going to make Man United a better team in the medium to long term because we've been in this hole for nearly a decade. So yes, you can agree. I think Ole may have taken us as far as he can get us. I truly believe that. However, I don't suddenly think by bringing in Nagelsmann, who's my number 1 choice, by the way, the world's going to change. We will probably play some better football. We will probably look a bit more entertaining. Suddenly you'll see people that can't see a single pattern in what Ole does. Suddenly they'll be seeing hexagons and triangles and squares and oblongs and equilibriums and universally intertwined half-mangled triangles everywhere. That's what they'll see. Do you know what I mean? They'll see everything. I still don't believe this team, this squad under this ownership is ever going to get back to the pinnacle, which is what we want. We're never going to get there.
I think it will. And just to really quickly, just to ask you, I'm going to turn into Terry for a second and ask you a question, Terry. Today, if we had an actual right winger, from today onward, not just today, sorry, from today onward, if we had an actual right winger, do you believe Ole could take us further than where we are right now?
It's. I think we could go. I think we could generate more wins. I think we could get more points.
That's all I needed to hear because you said I do believe Ole has taken us as far as we can get.
Okay,
but
so
if we got that one more player, you believe that we could get a few more wins?
Let me expand on my point. So if we finish seconds, 20 points behind City, that doesn't feel any different to me for being second than being 8 points behind City, 5 points behind City. For me, when I talk about next stage, it's winning the league and then being sustainably at the top. So if you get where I'm coming from, that for me is the important element here, which is kind of, if you get where I'm coming from. So I think if you brought in Sancho today, we'd win. He'd score us more goals. We'd win more points. Do I believe right now we have the mentality to win a league title? No. And I don't know if Ole is the right man for it. I just don't know. And I don't believe that. But equally, you bring in Nagelsmann with the same player, same team. I'm still not going to believe it until I see it because I've seen what's happened. I'm gonna throw one more caller in here. I'm going to throw Chucky in. He's been waiting back. I did go to you, Chucky, for a call earlier. I thought you were away.
Brother, sorry, man. I had to go do
Right, bro,
some
what do you
children,
want to
yeah.
say, mate? What do you want to say, bro?
First of all, I've heard everything everyone said, and I agree in parts with everyone, but I agree mostly with you, Terry. It is mentality. It's a mentality issue. And I feel Manchester United have two bunch of players at United, right? There's none of them want to lose, but they're the players who don't want to lose, and the players who have to win. Big difference. Pogba is a player who has to win. That's just his mentality. I have to win. And a lot of the other players pick up on excuses not to win. Think about it today. Did we have to win? You might say, yes, for Manchester United, we had to win. No, we didn't have to win. Did it really change our league position? Win, lose, or draw today? No. Are Manchester United going to gain first position? No. Let's be honest, man. City have got this league, right? And you might say that's poor mentality, but I bet you any money now, if it comes to another cup match, or there is actually some kind of progression to get further, you see more of a mentality from these players. That's the first one to mention. Secondly, all clubs, I've been watching football for all of Premier League seasons, every single one I've seen. All clubs go for a period in their season where they're off form. I'm amazed Manchester United are not losing. I am amazed. I'm not happy. I'm amazed we're not losing games in our off form, because as we've seen in the last 2-3 years, what happens when we lose games when we're off form? We get battered. But I'm amazed we're not losing games, and this is going to happen to everyone else. Chelsea, new manager bounce. You're going to see it, man. You're doing well right now. There's going to be a period. There's enough games left where you're going to go through bad form. And so I think it's definitely a mentality issue. Some of these players don't understand what it is to turn out and want to batter whoever you're playing. Bruno wants to hurt everybody. I don't mean physically hurt them. He wants to put the goals away. He wants to knock them down. But I think a lot of these players, in the case of just take it easy, take it easy. We can look at mistakes. If you look at it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tactically today, you could say he got it wrong. You could say he did this, he did that. But regardless, those players are out there. And as soon as Harry Maguire, as soon as Lindelof decided he wasn't strong enough, we conceded a goal. Yeah, we conceded a goal. Look at the mentality spread through the entire team. Harry Maguire then looked shook for a good half an hour. That's our captain. So that can't be normal. You can't put that all down to Ole. What these guys need is a trophy. And that can still come this season. So I can't write it all off yet.
Can I ask you a question, though, mate? I know we're not blaming Ole, and we're not saying we're blaming him. However, Ole picks this team, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, when you play football and you know your centre-back is getting bullied, you know, and then the front three, you know you're going to have to score more goals because you're likely to concede, okay? You talk about mentality, but if you're physically better than your opposition, surely... I'm hearing what you're saying. And I agree with you, right? But surely we need people to step up, bro. We need someone to say, do you know what, today, give me the ball. Like from Scott, you don't normally shoot from 25 yards. Shoot. Do you know what I mean? Take responsibility. But I'm asking, we don't have that character. We only have Bruno. And if your captain's getting batted up by some B-Tech Carlton Cole, like, bro, like, what chance do we have? So
no, I hear both points that are being. I hear what both points are saying, and I think, as I say, I think it is a mentality thing, and I think we need to be better. I've got a comment here from Zane, who says, "Hypocrite." I think he's talking about me. He says, "Beat Ole with the same stick you beat Jose with. Why are you having double standards when Ole had a better squad than Mourinho?" So again, Neeks will know this because Neeks was part of the football terrace back then. I never once denounced. I didn't like Jose's tactics. I never blamed Jose's tactics for being the problem we failed, and I never once put them down to the reason that I wanted Jose gone. I only turned on Jose when he became toxic and his professionalism lacked. So I can't beat Ole with the same stick I beat Jose Mourinho with, because Ole's not. If Ole comes out in the press conference and starts saying, "Look, I'm struggling to win the league titles. This ain't my squad. Half the players here I don't want," then you'll see me have the same attitude. But until then, Zane. Unfortunately, you know, you can call me a flip-flop and a hypocrite all you want, but I'm going to remain cool, calm, and collected and poised because you're making it up, bro. That's never been the case in one way, shape, or form. And like I say, I'm here to ask questions. I'm here to have a conversation. I'm here to have a debate in relation to this stuff. But yeah, that comment there, unfortunately, Zane Kasim, completely wrong and off point. We had a super chat that's from Kamal, who says, "People saying Ole out. Don't get me wrong, I'm disappointed, but you think Pep will be a great coach if he did. Sorry, do you think Pep will be a great coach if he didn't have a team like Barcelona to perfect his system? Give Ole the players and let's see." I mean, that's also a very. I would like that point about Pep. Pep is an amazing manager. I'm not putting him and Ole in the same category at all. But we don't have good a manager. I mean, Klopp's probably a better example Klopp wasn't getting his first 2.5 years at Liverpool. They weren't performing like their team has done in the last 2.5 years until he got the players. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't getting Moreno and them man to do to do what Robertson and these guys are doing. He had to get the right personnel.
Look what's happened now?
And look, yeah, and that's very, very true indeed. My view is very much, I think we've got very good football players at this club. I don't know how many are true leaders. I don't know how many are true winners. I genuinely will stand by that until I'm blue in the face. But I suppose you're never going to get the answers until that happens. Penalty here. 2-0 to Arsenal now. Listen, everybody that's tuned in today, thank you. We're back live after Arsenal versus Leeds with another fan phone in. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. 9 p.m. tonight. That United show is on, and then midnight tonight, Midnight Vibes as well. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very